and I've been part of GEMUN for 4 years, 2 years as a delegate, and 2 years serving as part of the Secretariat. Today we're going to present to you position papers, and yeah, before we start, does anyone know what a position paper is? Unless you tell us how the slide.
It's a short summary of something.
It's a short summary of the research that you do on your country and its topic and its stance. We're going to explain it further in the presentation, so.
So, essentially, a position paper writes out your country's viewpoints on a global issue that you have chosen to debate on.
Right. So, what should you even include in this thing? You know, it may be confusing. Well, you want to include your country's foreign policy regarding the issue, some general solutions your country has proposed, and relevant background research which may help support claims. We're going to be explaining all of this in greater detail as we go along, so bear with us.
Well, what is a foreign policy? A foreign policy is your government's current strategy that is being used to deal with issues in other nations.
Right. So, does anyone know, can anyone give me an example of what an example of foreign policy is in our modern world with any issues that are occurring right now? Or any country's foreign policy that you may know? No? Okay. I guess we'll be giving examples then. So, our first example is the refugee crisis globally, and if you represent Germany, right? So, does everyone know what the refugee crisis is around the world? Do you know what's happening in Syria right now? Do anyone know? Anyone give me an answer? Someone? Don't be shy. This is to learn. You're here to learn.
It's not.
So what's happening in Syria? Do you know?
No.
Okay, so in Syria there's a major refugee crisis going on. So millions and millions of Syrians are being displaced from their homes because of the war taking place in their home country. Because this war is erupting, they have to leave their homes and flee and find another home, right? So many of them migrate to Germany, to countries in Europe, and Germany is one of those countries, but Germany's foreign policy is more generous and welcoming to refugees, and that is your foreign policy. So if you're having a position paper about refugees, and your country is Germany, you may say our foreign policy is more welcoming towards refugees, and therefore we would like to accept more than our neighboring European Union countries. Another example is?
Yeah, so do you guys know about North Korea and their nuclear weapons and their testings, right? So if the DPRK is misusing its nuclear weapons on an ally of the United States, and you represent the United States, how will the United States deal with this? Well, in contrast to Germany's foreign policy, the United States' foreign policy is not forgiving at all. They might place economic sanctions on the DPRK, such as a trade embargo, which is basically bans trade between the United States and North Korea.
Right, so as you can see, these are two examples. You want to include something of the sort based on your topic in your position paper on your country stance. Do you understand foreign policy now? Does anyone not understand foreign policy? Please let me know right now, because this is really important, and your position paper is really important. You not understand? You understand, right?
Please feel free to raise your hands anytime.
And ask questions anytime during the presentation. Yes, please. Okay, general solutions. So keep in mind, these general solutions do not have to be thoroughly developed in your position paper. So while it's important to have the solutions, of your country at the back of your head and to have them researched, you don't have to write a lot about it. You don't have to write 2 or 3 pages about your solution. The position paper is going to be concise and powerful. It's meant to have information which is going to help you in your committee. So for example, if there's nuclear crisis going on in Iceland, what is something you as your delegation can do to help solve this issue? Anyone? This is important. These examples are important. That's why I want to ask you guys. Yeah.
They can be moved out and go somewhere else.
Right, yeah. That's a quick, simple solution, right? That wasn't research. She just came up with that on the spot, right? That's what research is so important. So you know all these things in advance, so that you're not scrambling to come up with answers, right? Just maybe she knew that because that's a pretty self-explanatory answer, but research is important in order to solve these issues and problems. So yeah.
Hey guys, back on research. This research is used to further your claims and justify your stance. So the best place to do background research are the UN website, the GEMUN website, and Wikipedia. Wikipedia only for personal knowledge purposes only. And please do not do any extensive research on that. Can anyone tell me why Wikipedia is only used for personal knowledge? Either one of you.
It can be edited by many people. And they can
Yes,
have
you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just want to clarify, research which is used to further your claims in order to justify your stance. That sounds like a lot of fancy words, but it basically just means to help people in your committee understand your claims and whether they came from credible sources or not, and to justify why, what you're saying is true, right? So we're just going to show you quick examples of these websites or where you can find information. One example is in the UN right here, in the delegates section. If you scroll through it, you can find lots of links. Then if you go back to the GEMUN website, we can find lots of other links there as you scroll through the GEMUN webpage. Just generally, if you scroll through, you're going to find lots of
Yeah, most of these websites have many resources you can use to supplement your research.
Yeah, but this doesn't mean that you just use these two, right?
Yeah.
You can use other sources. It's important for you to, in fact, I'd say it's important to go out and find more research. It's important to go and try to challenge yourself. That way, you're actually diving into the issue. You're not doing basic, shallow level research, which you just do because you have to do it. You're doing this because it's fun, right? Yeah?
And good places to like look would be like WHO, or the UN website has like different one for each committee. So like if you're doing WHO, like we're going to be explaining, there's like a WHO website and that has like all the topics and your research, and then any documents or like publications that have been relating to that will be there. So that's a good places to go.
Right. Okay, why would you even want to write a position paper? So, you want to write a position paper because it will help you broaden your knowledge of the country you'll be representing. So, a big thing I always tell delegates, even from last year, I told them, was when you're in committee, you're representing your country, not yourself, right? That's what one is. So, make sure whenever you're talking, you represent your country's viewpoint and not your viewpoint. So, don't let your personal opinions be influence your country's opinions. And your position paper will help you understand what your country stands, so that when you're in committee, you're not just talking from your own opinion, you're talking from the research that you did and the hard work you put into it. So it will also help you form ideas for resolutions, which is important because when you're in committee, it's important to collaborate with other people who may have same views on certain topics and certain issues and certain problems. So make sure to voice your opinion make sure to voice the opinion of your country, not your own opinion.
Also, guys, please refer to pages 9 to 11 to get more information on position papers. I see some of you guys are already on those pages. So anyway,
That's really good. Yeah, your handbook is a huge, huge, huge help. When you look at your handbook, you should it's like your God, or like it's like your Okay, let's not say God. It's like your magical object for GEMUN. You look at everything there. The knowledge in there is truly powerful. We put hours and hours of work into this handbook, and we really want you to use it because it has really important information. Topics are given, background of the topics are given, how to debate, how to do motions, points. All these different things may seem complicated at first, but if you look at the background guide and take maybe an hour to read through it, just to read through it, you'll find rules, important concepts, you'll find background info. That's why it's really important that you take care of this thing and treat it like it's your,
It's a dictionary practically for GEMUN. You can look up anything.
okay, guys, how to begin? First thing you guys can do is go to pages 66 and 67 of your GEMUN handbook and start by choosing a couple of topics in your committee that your country is particularly interested in or is appealed towards. Afterwards, please look at it. Afterwards, go back to page 10, so flip back in your GEMUN handbook, and there is a country information sheet that you can fill out.
That is a starting point for your research. You should choose your topic and then begin from there. And the thing is that many times you select 2 topics. I would recommend selecting 2 topics. So if you have information about how many you should choose, select 2 topics, research those 2 topics, and make sure they're appealing to your country and they really relate to your country. And one thing I forgot to mention was when you're coming up with your solution, make sure you have a global solution. Make sure it's applicable worldwide. You don't want a solution that's just going to benefit you. The whole goal of coming here and debating with other people is to form resolutions and solutions to problems and issues which may help benefit the world as a whole, right? So research tips. Many times research can be confusing, it can be hard, you don't know where to start. Well, I'm going to give you some quick tips when you're doing research so you can stay on track. Find specific and unique solutions that your country believes in. So that means that you got to find unique solutions so that, because many times debate gets stale in a committee. What that means is that the same idea gets circulated over and over again. For example, if we're talking about, let's say, global warming, right? If we talk about creating electric cars to help avoid emissions and pollution, to help solve global warming, and the same topic is repeated over and over again in committee, that can be annoying and frustrating because you want more than electric cars. That's why as you can see, there are more things being implemented in our society for global warming. There are such things such as there's something called air scrubbers, which can help take out carbon dioxide out of the air, right? There are many solutions, and that's why we want you to go out and find many of those that your country will believe in and your country may find and may help execute. And you want to really stand out because that's important in debate. So now we're going to go to the format of the position paper.
So yeah, format of the position paper is very straightforward. So first chunk of the position paper is the analysis of the issue. You're basically summarizing what's the issue about. Second chunk is your country's stance on the issue.
Right.
You talk about how the issue is impacting your country and how your country is currently dealing with this issue.
Third chunk is proposed solutions. So this is where you come out. This is where you talk about your proposed solutions, your general solutions, your country's stance, and how you're going to solve the problem with other nations, how you're going to collaborate with them, and what you're going to do to stop this issue from becoming bigger. And finally, sources are important, like we said, and you have credible sources so that committee members in your committee delegates are not coming up to you and saying, is your information true or not? And you don't want to